Hello, and welcome to the Superhero Hub. I'm Sam,
I'm Matt.
and today we're going to be reviewing,
The Walking Dead.
the latest episode of Walking Dead, which is called Say Yes. Now, well, it's back to boring. You know what I mean? Nothing really happened in it.
Yeah, but I think it was kind of necessary. At least, get Rick away, and go out, hack up some zombies. If you're going to get away from Negan, I'd rather do this than focus on some people I don't give a crap about.
See, my issue is, because I was thinking about this during the episode, I don't see why they can't seem to get their head around, having the Alexandrians and the survivors or whoever, instead of splitting it up to one solid episode just for two people, why can't they have two different things in the same episode? They don't seem to get their head around that. Why couldn't they have stuff happening in Alexandria for 5 minutes and switch over to the Saviors, have whatever that's happening, then switch back? I mean, they could have done last week's episode, cut all the boring stuff out of last week's episode, and then cut all the boring stuff out of this episode, put them together and made one decent episode, solid episode.
I don't think it's that they can't do it. I just don't think they want to.
Yeah,
this is their thing. This is what they do. This is the show.
Yeah, and I don't see why, because the majority of these episodes are just nothing happens. Literally, it's not at the point of it's kind of nothing happens, because these are the kind of episodes where you'd expect character building to happen or something like that, but everyone already knows all the characters, so it's not like they're so it's just let's see what happens if they walk down the street and find a carnival. It's I don't care about that. You know what I mean? And the kind of generic zombie slashing and stuff like that, it's you've seen it all before. You know what? It wasn't an exciting episode.
It wasn't, but I still appreciate I still appreciate the fact that we can get away with Rick and Michonne and have some fun for a while.
Have some fun.
Yeah, the show doesn't need to get bogged down in the mire of being miserable all the damn time.
I'm sorry, but Michonne's one of the most boring characters in the show. She's
has
boring.
A sword, she cuts zombies' heads off. That's cool.
Anyone with a sword could do that. I mean, Rick's boring when he's with her. I mean, it was just completely pointless. So, just to kind of reiterate, the episode starts with them. They've gone looking for guns. They've been away for a couple days or whatever, and it's just a process of them banging in the back of a van.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't care. So I don't care about either.
You don't care about Rick? Well, then why are you watching the show?
Yeah. They've put me in a position now. I thought it was okay, but it's come on, man. This episode was nothing. So they're looking for guns, and eventually they find, I think it's a carnival, isn't it? Like a school and a carnival. Because I saw school buses, and I didn't see any little children about, so I figured it was kind of whether they went on a school trip. But it must have been the military got called in. It was a disaster relief centre, you know what I mean? Everything's gone to crap, so they're let's get this school and let's put all the rations in there and make it like a disaster relief place. And then obviously someone must have got infected, and then they ended up all getting infected. Because there was it annoys me as well how they land on their feet, because you've got Tara, I think, because obviously a couple episodes she ended up she washed up on, I've said this before, but she washed up on the shore, and then she kind of got caught up with, she was playing with the little seashell thing. Well, she ended up getting, just to make sure you know who the character is, well, she ended up falling off a bridge, getting swept away, waking up on a beach, and then she was taken in by survivors. They had a ton of guns and stuff like that, and they were like, we can't let you go because you'll give the position away. We don't trust anyone. We're kind of so remote and no one knows where we are, and we're doing okay. So then she ends up escaping. She's kind of kept that secret, and now she's kind of, I mean, it's I don't see why they wouldn't have just done that. They wouldn't have just been okay, let's go in. She just walks in and is look, I went to this place. They've got tons of guns. Let's maybe she can think about the moral dilemma of betraying them or whatever, but end up getting the guns and then whatever. But no, they just happen to like stumble across like a carnival where everyone's got guns. I mean, yeah, it was probably, as I said, like a relief centre or something. But it just annoys me how they always land on their feet.
Well, they've got to land on their feet, otherwise they're done. They're all going to die.
No, but they could do that. They could have just done that and gone and raided that village, as opposed to just walking down the street. It's like
Yeah,
they've been looking. They've been looking for ages.
You've seen that before as well. I mean, the fact is, the show's been on 7 years. They are going to get to the point where they're repeating themselves.
I'm sorry, but I mean, they get to this centre. They're kind of not doing much. They're umming and ahhing whether to clear it out. They end up finding a bunch of like MREs or ready to eats. RTEs as opposed to MREs, but then they're eating, blah blah blah, don't care, hump again, blah blah blah, and then they go, like, they manage to cock up. I mean, they're clearing out this circus place, and yeah, this kind of, it literally, I was watching the episode and kind of, it got me to a point, we'll get onto that in a minute, but it got to a point where I was kind of hoping, like, okay, things are going okay, it's kind of a boring episode, Michonne's probably going to die, and I was just thinking, I hope this happens, man, I hope
You can't
this
be
happens.
that dense. You can't actually think they're going to kill her in a random episode like this. No way.
Well,
They'll
it would
save
have
it
made
for the kill.
it would have made the episode better, because I was halfway through, I was just sick of her. It's
What I
like,
will say is,
she's
what
so
did my head in?
uninteresting.
What did my head in was, you know, when the plan went wrong, when they were in the car. Like, first of all,
Yeah, how did Michonne get from the boot into like the front of the car?
well, some cars do have a,
Yeah, I know that, but
so she might be able to squeeze through. But the thing is, first of all, the zombie that was accidentally firing off the gun,
that was great.
it was, but surely that would have ran out of bullets a long time ago, unless maybe having seen people made him start to move. I don't know.
Yeah, that's
But
what I mean.
what-
You got to bear
What
in
really
mind.
did mind that in was, once they got out on top of the car, how crap are those zombies? Like, they're stood there, surrounded by all. Can't you just like grab their leg
Yeah, that's what I
and
mean.
fight them? Like, how terrible are these zombies? They're so lame.
It's like Rick's dumb as well, because like before he gets into the car, there's a zombie hanging out the windshield, and then he thinks, oh no, even though I'm kind of aware of what these zombies are about, I'm gonna try and like pull him out the top, and then he's like surprised when he pulls his foot off. It's like, come on man, knock it off. It's like this guy's walking around like actually walking around like an amateur, like as literally they've just popped him in here and he don't know what's going on. It's like, what did he expect? And then he thinks, oh no, I'm just going to pull his body, like that's going to be any better? Of course not. So he pulls his legs off, and then he just I was just like, what's going on, man? But yeah, I'll admit, when I was standing on top of the cars and there were zombies from each side and there was barely any place to put their feet, I was like, why aren't these zombies reaching, you know what I mean? But whatever. That it was just dumb. It annoyed me. And then what? Like, he gets distracted by a deer. It's like, what's his problem? Who cares? Let the deer get eaten. If anything, it's better for him, because while them deers are munching, he can just get behind them and smack them on the head with the axe.
Well, I think
It's like the guy's a moron.
I think what happened was, not that I agree with this, but what happened was I think he was going to kill it, but then he changed his mind, let it go, and then that's what distracted him. I think that was fine. He was going to kill it, like, you know, when the horse died in the pilot, and that distracted the zombies so he could get away. But then, for some reason, he had to change about and let it live. I don't know why.
That's what I mean. Dumb. It's like everyone in this show is dumb and forgetful. They just seem to forget everything that happens. I think, so no, I'll do that again. So yeah, it's like he shouldn't have bothered. He should have just carry on. He was in a perfect position where he was. He could have done what she did. Problem solved. So then, yeah, I knew they'd be eating the deer. I knew it wasn't him for a second, but I was thinking, maybe if he does die, maybe the show might get a little better. So he didn't end up getting
You
it.
can't really be that stupid.
Yeah.
You can't actually think Rick is going to die.
It's too slow. It's too slow. So anyway, so he pops out of the
Moron.
box, but I was hoping when she was distracted, just staring. It's like, these episodes get me mad when nothing happens. Literally nothing happens. It's so pointless. If any, lower the show, the kind of the episodes down. Instead of having 23 episodes, if you can't handle 23 episodes a season, you got to throw pointless episodes in there. Cut it down to 20. You know what I mean? Do that.
Well, obviously, I think the show would be better off if it's cut down to 13, but they don't want to do that. They want to keep.
They want to milk it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's terrible. And they're surprised why their ratings are slumping. You know what I mean? It's just ridiculous.
Well, that's going to happen to any show, isn't it?
Yeah, but come on, episodes like that. I mean, this is like a 3 episode.
This is what the show is, though. Like, I get you're annoyed, and I don't love it either, but this is what The Walking Dead is. This is what it always has been. It's no slower now than it was in season 2. The farm.
But as opposed to having like 5 episodes a season that are like this, now it's literally about 12 episodes, if not more episodes a season, where all the episodes are like this, like 12 episodes in a 23 block series where absolutely nothing happens. I mean, come on. I'm at the end of my tether now. So I thought, anyway, getting back to the episode, she's standing there like, duh, you know what I mean, not knowing whether he's been eaten or not. And then I was just like, please let one of these zombies bite her. I beg of you. And then he pops out the box. I was like, how much better would that have been, though, if she's standing there like a moron with her mouth open, staring. One of the zombies bites her, and he just pops out the box to see it happen. That would have been great. That would have been so great.
It'd be a waste. You don't kill her off. You don't kill her off in a stupid episode like this. You're so. I hope to God you're never in charge of a TV show. Yeah, but fucking terrible.
Why do you seem to think
she's dumb?
Why do you think she's such a great character? Do you think
it don't matter whether she's a great character or not. It matters she's important to the show. She's hooking up with Rick. You don't just kill her like that.
Just because she spreads her legs don't mean she's important. I mean, a couple last season he was with another chick. You know what I mean? And she got eaten.
But she's the show, and she's been on the show for a relatively long time. She's an important character in the comic books, and people like her. You don't just kill her off like that. That's stupid.
This show's making me turn against everyone. I used to like people, but now it's making me hate them. So yeah.
You've always hated people.
Nah, but come on, man. You've got to admit, like.
Got to admit what?
I'll let you stew on a couple more episodes.
I don't think it's great.
You're going to get to this point.
I've already got to this point years ago. That's why I stopped watching the show, but I'm not surprised by it. This is what the show is. I don't get why you're so angry at The Walking Dead for being The Walking Dead.
And the problem is, next season, after this Negan stuff's all cleared up, it's going to be even worse, because they're not going to have no idea what they're doing. Yeah, they might bring in the Whisperers, but that's just literally going to be the same thing. So it's literally...
It's always the same thing. That's what I'm telling you. I don't get why you're acting like this is like it's gone down this crevice. This is what the show always has been.
Okay, I'm more aware of it now.
You're more aware of it now?
This episode was a wake-up call.
Well, it took you 7 years, didn't it?
Yeah. So yeah, elsewhere you got flipping Rosita still whining on her problem.
Right, see, now that's something I don't care about.
where she like the fattest zombie you've ever seen in your life waddles out the house, and she like goes there and gets like a fake gun, the little toy gun. So yeah, I mean, I've seen it like the last 4 episodes. She needs to get over it. Maybe she's got over it now. This is like the turning point for her. So yeah, she's still craving to try and get this gun. Still ain't got it. And then she ends up partnering with Sasha. And then Sasha's like, obviously they're going on an assassination mission with no guns or nothing, but they're going to try and pop Negan, even though I'm pretty sure they have no idea where he is. So,
no, yeah. They know where he is, I think. That's what they were talking about at the end, but it's this heavily fortified place. But we all know it's not going to work.
These two are the dibbiest people, I'm sorry, but like if Rosita was smart, she'd learn how to use a bow and arrow. It's like, why is she bumming off a gun when a bow and arrow can do the same thing? You know what I mean? It's not like people are walking around with bulletproof vests on or anything like that. So just nail them with an arrow. It's just these people are so reliant on guns. Why can't they be like savages, like guerrilla warfare, and go around like an army with bows and arrows and stuff like that? They do exactly the same thing. So that's what kind of bothers me, how everyone's bumming off guns. Like, these people have no brains. So anyway, and I mean, they can craft arrow from like trees. Plenty of trees about. You know, not much paper in production these days. So just
Well, doesn't Daryl use a bow and arrow?
yeah, but he used a proper high tech one. He uses a crossbow. Yeah, what's wrong with that? Because one person. Yeah, I'm just. Anyway, forget it.
That's his thing, isn't it?
Yeah, because he's a hunter, because he's smart, because he knows he can just whip them arrows back or bolts
Right,
out.
so that's his character. If everyone else is using them, then what's special about him?
Yeah, but why wouldn't there be like a tribe of people, like a bunch of survivors who solely use that? I mean, why wouldn't they? Instead of we can't do anything because we haven't got a gun. It's like, yo, go get a bow and arrow then. Go make yourself a bow and arrow.
Don't get me started on those people. They do my head in.
What?
That woman with a stupid speech pattern. Like as if like society died like 50 years ago.
Oh, I
It's only
think.
been 7 years. What's wrong with them?
Yeah, but I think they're backwards. But anyway, yeah, you kind of had Tara guy talking to the kid, boring the kid. It's like the kid was just not interested. I was like, oh my god, that kid is exactly
Oh, I'm not with I.
how I feel watching this episode. So yeah, so she was blithering, and then at the end she ends up, oh yeah, I'm gonna sell these the seaside people out anyway. And then Dom and Dumber decide to team up on an assassination mission. What are they planning to do? Are they going to try and break into this place they've never seen and never been in before? They're going to try and break in there and kill Negan. Come on now. One of them's got to get killed. I mean, in the real world, they both get killed, but at least one of them has to get killed. I mean, come on, agree with me on that one.
In the real world?
In any world.
I mean...
In the real world, both of them will get killed. In any world, at least one of them will get killed.
Okay, in the realm of the show, preferably Sasha will die. I don't say preferably is the wrong word. I predict if one of them's going to die, they're not going to kill Rosita. They're going to leave her to be an angry, sulky person on the team. But the plan won't work, and Rick will find out and try and save him.
You think? So yeah. I mean, they could have like with the Kingdom episodes where they kind of fix solely on the Kingdom. That's a boring place as well. I don't see why they wouldn't switch between Alexandria and the Kingdom, or like Alexandria and the Hilltop. It's like they seem to just focus like the whole episode on that, and it's like, yo, they're just walking around doing nothing. So
has Rick forgot that he has a son?
Rick's forgot everything. Rick seemed to forget everything, you know.
He seemed to want to stay away for quite a long time. B, he was talking with Michonne about how we have to ensure the future for his baby and for Glenn and Maggie's baby, but never mind, your son, who granted is basically an adult now, but still.
I think trying to make it a better place for them to kind of properly grow up into, because everyone else is pretty much, I mean, yeah, you say Carl's old enough, but he's pretty much a product of the place now. He's a cruel, angry boy, you know what I mean, who's got no problem killing people. I mean, he's not far off becoming like the governor or Negan himself, you know what I mean. So yeah.
True, but with Carl, not to get sidetracked, but with Carl, I never really saw that as a problem. Remember a few years back when the show first started, like the first couple of years, there was that big hoo-ha about...
Before he jumped the shark.
There was that big hoo-ha about Carl... Alright, let it go. How many digs can you have in one episode? There was that big hoo-ha about, is Carl going to turn into a nut job?
I think he should.
To take him down. But I don't think he will.
Technically, I mean, in the real world, all of them would. You know what I mean? Every single person would.
Carl is what he should be in this world.
Exactly. I like him more. I used to think he was a bit of a batty crease. Just being there, I thought he was a bit of a batty crease, but now at least he's kind of relevant. I mean,
he would be if he was on the show.
He's better than Rick. I rate him better than Rick, because honestly, like, Rick's got too comfortable. That's his problem. You know what I mean? And like, I wouldn't look to, after all this business with Negan and stuff like that, I wouldn't look to him to be a leader. At least with Ezekiel, like, at least, yeah, he may have bent his knee, but at least no one else knows about it. But everyone knows that Rick's a failure, and they'll just, like, accept it. They'll be like, oh, that's okay, because he was saying how he can't sleep at night, how he's dwelling on it. It's like, yeah, he should dwell on it. Not like, oh, don't worry about it, there's nothing you could have done. There's plenty you could have done. He should learn from this. He should be kept up at night, so he don't do it again in the future. Because the guys, it's like, I think, like, every single character on that show is, like, dumb in one way or another, whether they just seem to forget stuff and just do really stupid stuff, and it's like you'd think they've been in this world for so long that, like, taking unnecessary risks, you'd think they'd just never do it, but they just love doing it, and it's like,
well, yeah, like I say, it's a TV show though. Like, it's a TV show that's been on for 7 years about zombies. Like, they have to remain stupid, otherwise they got no show.
Makes me sick. So yeah,
I think that's pretty much everything, isn't it?
Yeah. Let's talk numbers. I'll give this. No, you go ahead. I know what you give.
I'll give it a 7. But yeah, look, I like the stuff with Rick and Michonne for the most part, even though I've seen it before. I like some levity in the show, like I said before. I don't like it where it's constantly complete darkness. It gets boring in my mind. And like I said, I know you have this big problem with the show, but
no, I've been fine. I was fine last week. Last week I thought it was okay, but this week
it's like you've had this revelation. You've had this revelation that The Walking Dead is The Walking Dead. This is what the show is. This is what the show has always been. I don't get why you're getting angry at the show for being what it is. You're the one that loves it.
Why are you getting mad at me? I'm not The Walking Dead.
I'm getting mad at you for realising something I realised years ago. This is why I stopped watching the show. But this is what it does. I don't get it. I don't get your big how does it take you 7 years to have this realisation on as one random episode?
Well, I think it's kind of because I think last week was okay and I kind of expected better, but I think it's just the fact that, okay, most of these kind of episodes nothing really happens, but it's like bearable, but this, it was just unbearable. I just couldn't believe it.
I just don't see it. I just don't see how this is any worse than the episodes that have come before it.
Oh yeah, and the dummies as well.
What do you mean?
The dum-dums.
Oh, you mean the actual characters?
Yeah, at the scrapyard, I'm going to call them dum-dums. That's not their name, but like...
I don't know.
But like, them as well, I kind of liked them.
Why?
I don't know, I just kind of liked them. It's like, I hate the way, like, they explain stuff as well, because like, when it was bartering the deal and stuff like that, I would have been like, yo, these ain't like pistols with like 5 bullets in them. I'd have been like, yo, these are semi-automatic rifles, 30 bullets, you could just mow people down with these. If anything, you'd only need 10 of them to take these people on. So why they're kind of brown bagging them and stuff like that, I kind of like that, because it's like these people they've just met, it's just like mugging them off to their face, and they're like, yeah, okay then. And these people are like, I'm pretty convinced these people are like the slow adults of the world, have all gone to like the scrapyard and that's their little thing, but they're outsmarting these people. So yeah, I kind of like that. But in terms of the episode, how I would grade it, I'd have to give it, I mean, it's got to be less than 5. 5's average. This was a
behave yourself.
I've got to give it. I'll give it a 5. There's no reason why I could give it more than like 5. 5's like middle ground. I mean, if I was really going to be like completely honest within myself, which I suppose I've got to be now because I owe it to the viewers, I'd give it a 3.
That's ridiculous. That's ridiculous.
Yeah.
This is no worse than all the other crappy episodes that have come before it that you bummed off, and now suddenly you're angry at The Walking Dead for being what it is.
And on that note, we'll end. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. I'm Sam.
I'm Matt.
And this has been the Superhero Hub.